Granted, notice and on filing. Van Michael Brown, 21 MM 8714, denied and information was filed. And Christopher Lentz, 21 CF 15608, denied and information was filed.
Thank you. Counsel, do you want to address your case first so you can?
Yes, Judge, for the record, Jack Crocetta on behalf of Devonta Strickland. Judge, I was advised by the court officers that Mr. Strickland refused to come to court. That's odd because he's been in contact with me. I knew he was turning himself in, and I don't know if that's a communication issue or what, but apparently he's not been brought up or down. Judge, Mr. Strickland turned himself in yesterday evening on two cases. One is a violation of probation. The basis for the violation of probation is the new charge. You had granted Mr. Strickland on that new charge, which is 21 CF 15798, pretrial release. Apparently there was a violation of pretrial release that was filed. I would ask the court to consider resetting a bond in this case. Again, I have filed my notice of appearance in both cases. I do have, and the court can certainly examine it, an affidavit from the mother of the child that is the basis for the child abuse, indicating under oath that the facts as set forth in the affidavit of the officer are incomplete and not necessarily in context. The essence of the affidavit is that there was only corporal punishment involved, that her son, who is a very large child, basically fought with Mr. Strickland and tried to avoid getting a spanking, and that's the entire substance of what occurred. I can certainly tender that to the court if you'd like to see it. Originally, Mr. Strickland's bonds were $25,000 and $5,000, $25,000 on the child abuse and $5,000 on the DV by strangulation. As I indicated, he does have the violation of probation, which, as far as I can tell, is based entirely on the new charge. He was doing pretty well on probation, at least according to him. He's not a flight risk. He's got a family here that's hired me. He's employed. And I can't indicate anymore because, again, they indicated he refused to come.
All right. So the capias that was issued on 21 CF 15798AO, there's no bond authorized. So for the violation of probation, I'm going to also hold him at no bond.
I understand, Judge, that new charge, and it's early in the game, but the new charge hasn't been filed yet, but I understand.
Right, and you can file a motion in front of the trial judge to deal with both of them at the same time, but at least he'll get, he's entitled to credit on both of them at this time.
Very good. Thank you, Judge.
All right, yes, sir. Have a nice day.
You too.
That's ready.
All right, do that now. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
thank you.
Like this one that was.
Let's look at there.
Maybe he'll be willing to do it now. Maybe he'll be willing to set a bond now. Maybe.
Good morning, Your Honor. Hi, Mrs. Sotomayor, certified federal interpreter, already sworn. 1 second while I connect to the headphone.
Thank you. Please state your name.
Gianfranco Crocetta.
Gianfranco Crocetta.
You're here in 22 CF 42280, charged with battery, domestic violence, domestic battery by strangulation, and false imprisonment. At this time, I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause. Does either side wish to be heard on bond?
Your Honor, the state would just ask that instead of proof on bond in this case, he is otherwise entitled to it. It does appear that he has little to no criminal history. I don't know if he would otherwise qualify for pretrial release. My last sheet says he wasn't interviewed. However, the allegations within the affidavit are concerning, and it seems to have gone over a pretty long length of time, including the defendant's mother getting involved and also battering the victim. So state would ask that you take all that into account when setting bond.
Anything from the defense?
Just reasonable bond conditions, Your Honor.
All right, the court is also concerned about his lack of ties to the community. Sir, at this time, your bond will be $500 on count 1, $5,000 on count 2, $15,000 on count 3. With special conditions, you can have no contact with the victim or any witness in this case. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes.
You cannot possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you cannot live with the victim or the witness. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Are there any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir.
Your Honor, could the interpreter get that name and number again?
Gianfranco, I don't know how to say his last name.
Guvia Crocetta, 22 CF 422.
Is it Giu?
DEGOUVEIA CROCETTA.
The number was 22 what?
22 CF 422.
Thank you, Your Honor. By the way, your name is?
Your Honor, I believe.
The judge, I'm Judge Gibson.
Gibson. Sorry, I can't see you from here.
That's okay. Sorry, I didn't know you were asking me. And can you disconnect from the headset? We have a witness in this case. Can you ask the witness if she also needs your services?
¿La testigo también necesita intérprete?
Quizás sí un poco.
Yes, a little.
All right. Good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Joel Donis Gonzalez.
(22 CF 42780). You're here charged with child abuse and battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Can the interpreter not hear me?
The defendant is not wearing his headphones, Your Honor.
Right, I asked you not to be connected to the headset because she needs the interpretation as well.
Very well, Your Honor. You want me to interpret everything for her, too?
Yes.
Very well. Could you repeat that then, Your Honor? Sorry.
You're here charged with child abuse and battery domestic violence.
Usted está acusado de abuso de menores y violencia doméstica, agresión.
There is probable cause.
Hemos encontrado causa probable.
I'll appoint an attorney to represent you.
Estoy nombrando un abogado para que lo represente.
While you're in the courtroom, only look at me or that wall. Do not look at the witness.
Mientras estemos aquí en sala, solamente me puede mirar a mí o a la pared. No mire al testigo.
Good morning, ma'am. Do you wish to testify?
Buenos días, señora. ¿Usted desea prestar testimonio?
Sí.
Yes.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Muy bien, pues por favor levante su mano derecha para tomarle el juramento.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
¿Usted jura que dirá la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad con la ayuda de Dios?
Sí.
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Por favor,
Yanitza,
su nombre para el acta y deletreando el apellido.
Yanitza Aguayo. A-G-U-A-Y-O.
Yanitza Aguayo, Aguayo.
State you may proceed.
Your Honor, state has no question. She is a witness. She's not one of the listed victims in this case. The listed victim is the child. So state has no questions.
Muy bien, señora, la fiscalía no tiene preguntas. Ella no es la víctima enumerada. En este caso, ella es una testigo. La víctima en este caso es el menor que sufrió el ataque.
Let me ask the defense, do you have any questions for this witness?
Le voy a preguntar a la defensa si tiene alguna pregunta para la testigo.
No questions at this time, Your Honor.
No tenemos preguntas en este momento.
All right, ma'am, is there something you want the court to know today?
Muy bien, señora. Entonces, ¿hay algo que usted desea que el tribunal sepa en este momento?
No me dijeron que viniera para acá porque como él es menor de edad, yo podía ¿verdad? Estar aquí por él. Por eso estoy aquí.
No, I was told to come here because my son is a minor. I could be here on his behalf, and that is the reason why I'm here.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Muy bien, pues muchas gracias, señora.
At this time, sir, your bond will be $5,000 on count one.
En este momento, la fianza se establece en $5,000 por el cargo número 1,
$500 on count two.
500 por el cargo número 2.
You can have no contact with the victim or any witness in this case.
No puede tener contacto con la víctima ni con ningún testigo de este caso.
Do you understand what no contact means?
¿Usted entiende lo que significa no contacto?
¿Puedo hacer una pregunta?
Yes.
Just a moment, ma'am.
Ask a question.
Yes.
Sí, adelante.
Puedo. Yo estoy informada que él no puede tener contacto con el niño. Si el niño se mueve a otro lugar, él puede estar en la casa.
My information that he's not allowed to have any contact with the child, but if the child moves to a different location, can he be allowed to come to the house?
No, he also can have no contact with you at this time.
No, okay.
No, en este momento él tampoco puede tener contacto con usted que es testigo.
Okay.
I'm ordering, sir, that you must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings.
Estoy ordenando que usted tiene que mantener una residencia por separado y estoy permitiendo que regrese en una sola ocasión acompañado por las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition.
No puede poseer un arma de ninguna clase, ni armas de fuego, ni municiones.
You can have no unsupervised contact with any minor child under the age of 18.
No puede tener contacto sin supervisión con ningún menor de edad de los 18 años.
You can't be within 1,000 feet of the child's school or residence.
Y no puede estar a menos de 1,000 pies de la escuela o la residencia del menor.
Do you understand?
¿Usted entiende eso? Yes.
All right, good luck, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
Muy bien, pues buena suerte y buena suerte, señora.
All right, same thing in this case. We have a witness. No headset. We have a witness.
Quítele los audífonos. Quítese los audífonos para...
Can you ask the witness if she needs the assistance of the interpreter as well?
Señora testigo, ¿usted necesita asistencia de intérprete, traducción?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, good morning, sir. Please tell me your name.
Buenos días, señor. Por favor, su nombre.
Ernesto Martínez Luna.
Ernesto Martínez Luna.
22 CF 41780. You're here charged with battery, domestic violence, and false imprisonment, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you.
Usted está acusado de agresión en violencia doméstica y detención ilegal en violencia doméstica. Hemos encontrado causa probable y estamos designando un abogado para que lo represente.
Ma'am, do you wish to testify this morning?
Señora, ¿usted desea dar testimonio esta mañana?
No.
No.
¿Cómo?
All right, thank you.
Muy bien, gracias, señora.
Your Honor, state we just ask that you take into account, I believe he has limited criminal ties. I believe he is a citizen of Mexico when setting bond.
Muy bien, vamos a pedirle a su señoría que tome en consideración que él no tiene lazos en la comunidad, o sea, él es ciudadano de México al momento de tomar la determinación de fianza.
I saw that. Thank you.
Sí, lo he
Right.
visto. Muchas gracias.
Sir, at this time, your bond is $500 on count 1, $10,000 on count 2.
Muy bien, en este momento la fianza se establece en $500 para el cargo número 1 y 10,000 para el cargo número 2.
With special conditions, you can have no contact with the victim or any witness in the case.
Va a tener condiciones especiales que no puede tener contacto ni con la víctima ni con ningún testigo de este caso.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition.
No puede poseer armas de ninguna clase, ni armas de fuego, ni municiones.
You must maintain a separate residence, and I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings.
Debe mantener una residencia por separado y le voy a permitir que regrese en una sola ocasión acompañado por las autoridades para recoger su pertenencia.
Any other conditions the state would request?
¿Alguna otra condición que esté solicitando la fiscalía?
No, Your Honor.
No, su señoría.
Thank you. Good luck, sir. Good luck, ma'am.
Muy bien, pues muchas gracias. Buena suerte a usted, señor, y a usted, señora.
Please tell me your name.
José Dimas Portillo García. José Dimas Portillo. Portillo. Sí.
José Dimas Ortillo.
22MM268AO, you're here charged with battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $500. You can have no contact with the victim. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. Good luck, sir. All right. Mr. Brandt, I'm going to appoint your office in his case.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
Does he actually have 2 pending today?
Yes, the VOP.
All right, not the ag assault?
No.
All right, so in the 21 CF 1120, he has no bond on the VOP and it's in Marion.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe we're done with the Spanish cases.
Are we done with interpreter cases? All right, we have no more need for the interpreter at the, actually, can you make a call in the gallery and ask if anyone needs the assistance of the interpreter?
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Hay alguna persona que se encuentre entre el público que vaya a ser testigo y necesite traducción?
All right, I see no reaction. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You as well. When they come in, when they get to the podium, can you ask them to tell me their name? All right, sir, tell me your name, please.
Siwan Mir.
This is 19 CF 8118. You're here because you have a warrant out of Pinellas County for violating probation on charges of aggravated assault and criminal mischief. There's no bond authorized on that warrant. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Counsel, I show he's a violent felony offender of special concern.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir. Please tell me your name.
Stefanos Corrales.
All right, sir, you have two cases. 22 CF 38480, you're charged with possession of MDMA, possession of drug paraphernalia, and tampering with physical evidence.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I believe his argument's gonna be regarding an attempted tampering, state has no objection, 777.
Hold on, I didn't get there yet.
That's why I paused for a moment. I didn't.
Yeah, I was going to tell him his other case too. Is
Oh,
a VOP,
sorry.
17 CF 9901. That's a violation of probation. Okay, so let's go back to your new law violation. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you in both cases. Go ahead, Mr. Brantz.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay.
As to count two, I believe there was an attempted tampering, which as the state is attaching statute 777. That would be my argument.
And the state agrees.
Yes, Your Honor, however, I believe it's count 3.
I'm sorry.
It's the original 918.13 as well as 777.04.
All right, I agree. I read it, and I do believe there's probable cause for possession of MDMA, possession of paraphernalia, and attempted tampering. Your bond, sir, is $1,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2, $150 on count 3. You cannot possess or consume any controlled substance without a valid prescription or have contact with any known drug dealers. In the violation of probation case, give me one moment. You have no bond at this time. Good luck, sir. (2017 CF 459780). You're here for a violation of probation.
Yes, ma'am. Could you tell me what it's for? I mean, I understand the violation of probation.
Hold on, I can't hear you, sir. Get closer to the microphone.
Do I have the paperwork of the person that made me violate, whatever, you know what I mean? There's no record that says, you know what I'm saying? Whoever said I did something wrong besides the probation officer. It said about some lady 6 months ago, and then he said he wasn't gonna violate me because it was, you know, he just said stay away from her. I said, okay. So then I stayed away from her and I just went about my business. This 6 months later, this is the last month of my probation. I did everything I was supposed to do, and he violated me. And I don't know what for, and I don't have, if that's the case with that lady.
So the allegation is that you violated by committing the criminal offense of exposure of sexual organs on or about June 21st, 2021.
Yes, ma'am, 6 months ago. Why didn't you arrest me then with the, you know,
I see that, but I don't have the answer for that.
I mean, not to get you mad at me, ma'am, I just
No, I'm not mad.
have paperwork for that. In other words, if I called the cops on this guy for stealing my bicycle, right, the cops would be right there. Why didn't they arrest me 6 months ago?
So
I have no paperwork on it either. No offense, ma'am.
I can't answer exactly why. I can tell you what's in the warrant. It says that the allegation is that it occurred in June of last year, and the state filed it on November 24th, 2021. It appears as though your probation officer waited until the state filed the charges. It looks like they were trying to find out if the state was going to file it against you, and the state did. And that's when your probation officer issued this warrant for your arrest.
Okay, because I come here every month. He never says nothing. I do everything. I don't do drugs.
Right, it doesn't, there's none of those things are included.
Oh, yes, ma'am, but I still should have the paperwork for it.
So I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. There's no bond authorized on this. Call your attorney right away because they can get you in front of the trial judge
Yes, ma'am.
and they can give you a bond if they're so inclined.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, can I get out of this now?
I understand. I just can't change it.
Yes, sir. But did she file a complaint or did she file charges?
She didn't do anything. The state of Florida filed it.
Oh, that was Mr. Knott then. That's ridiculous. But I understand.
I don't know who filed it, but it was the state.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck, sir.
Lorenzo Stansberry is medical.
I don't, hold on.
This is our first reset.
Is a reset.
All right. 22 MO45.
He was medical yesterday as well.
All right. Mr. Brantz, I'm assuming your office was appointed.
Are you inclined to reset again? I don't know if the medical reason is, because if he's going to be released from medical, could we do a reset 24 hours within release from medical?
No, you can only do that with
for
hospital.
hospital?
This is, according to the affidavit, he was going through withdrawals. So he was transported to Advent Health for further evaluation. That was back 2 days ago.
We'll just waive the appearance then, Your Honor. And have you
Okay.
set a bond. It is an open container, but I think he has a fugitive warrant too. And I don't know if you're inclined to set ROR on the open container. If not, a small bond.
What's the pending fugitive warrant? Do you have that?
Indiana,
It's what?
out of Indiana. For failure to register as a sex offender.
Your Honor, state would object to ROR. He has reporting requirements. He's not maintaining them. He has out-of-state history, fugitive warrant. State's concerned if we were to ROR him, he would not reappear for court, and he's already shown that he will not keep up with reporting. So state's concerned about him also reporting to the PD's office as well to ensure that this case is seen later down the road.
I share those same concerns, Mr. Brands. He's got an extensive criminal history that's really concerning. He's a sex offender multiple times. He's failed to report, failed to appear for court, violated probation. He has a lengthy history in other states. I understand the request because of the charge in this case, but I'm not inclined to do that. I will, however, set bond at $250 with a no return and not consume any alcoholic beverages.
Yes.
Giovanni Angelo Williams.
22 MM 248AO, you're here charged with resisting an officer without violence. Mr. Brands?
This is a reset from yesterday. I checked with the state today. There was an offer of adjudication of guilt and credit time served. I did have a chance to speak with Mr. Williams, as well as handed him a plea form to review. I believe he wishes to resolve today.
Please raise your right hand, sir.
You swear to tell the truth?
Oh. Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You heard what Mr. Branch just said. Is that what you want to do here today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there is probable cause. I reviewed the affidavit. You had an opportunity to discuss with Mr. Brands, you can put your hand down, the rights you'd be giving up if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Do you understand those rights?
Yeah, I got a question to ask.
Yes, please.
You say you viewed the affidavit as probable cause.
Right.
Okay, what made you feel like there was probable cause for them to arrest me the way they did?
So the charge is resisting an officer without violence. I'm going to have the state put the factual basis on the record.
On or about January 11th, 2022, law enforcement was on active patrol when they observed the defendant walking southbound and crossing with a pedestrian control device with a red hand indicating prohibiting a crossing. Law enforcement got out of his vehicle, ordered the defendant to stop, stated he was being detained. The defendant continued crossing the median without not following the order. Defendant continued to resist lawful commands and was placed into handcuffs. All events occurred in Orange County, Florida.
That's the factual basis. So probable cause means that there's cause to believe you probably did what you're charged with. There is absolutely probable cause contained in this affidavit. Now, let me finish. You don't have to enter a plea of guilty or no contest today. You can enter a plea of not guilty and contest the charges all the way up to a jury trial. You can present any defenses that you may have. You can testify on your own behalf, call witnesses, and force the state to prove this beyond all reasonable doubt. And that's a different standard than probable cause. So you have three choices today. It's up to you.
Thank God for God, so help me God, and he holds the final judgment. So, it's all a matter about whose eyes I'm concerned about being guilty in. I have raised my right hand to God, and that's obvious indication that I'm only concerned about being considered guilty in his eyes. Because it's just, I gotta face the fact, there's just some entities out here that just don't know how to judge.
Can I have a moment to confer, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, I'm sorry about, I apologize to you, 'cause it seemed like you got offended.
I'm not offended.
You wanna sign the paper though, man?
Well, I want to make sure you understand what you're doing, and this is the choice that you're making.
Yes, ma'am, yeah.
Okay, so I'm pulling up the statute, just so you can understand this.
Appreciate it.
The resisting an officer without violence, the Florida statute says, whoever shall resist, obstruct, or oppose any officer, and it lists the kinds of officers, who are, or other person legally authorized to execute process, or in the execution of legal process, or in the lawful execution of any legal duty, without offering or doing violence to the person of the officer, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor of the first degree. So in this case, there was a law enforcement officer who ordered you to stop. That's the lawful execution of his legal duty, and you didn't do that. And the allegation is, in the affidavit, you continued to resist his lawful commands to stop. Listen, we're not having a trial here today.
I know when I have a trial.
If you think you have defenses, you still have the option to plead not guilty. I want to make sure you understand, but I pulled out the statute, just so you understand, that's what the probable cause is.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry, I was trying, all right, I signed a plea, man.
All right, do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest?
I entered the plea, yeah.
All right, and you read that form.
I've read it before.
All right. You understand if you're on probation anywhere, this plea could violate your probation.
Yes, ma'am.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, you can be deported.
Yes, ma'am.
Has anyone threatened you today to get you to do this or promised you anything other than the state's offer?
No.
All right, Mr. Williams, at this time, how do you wish to plead to the charge of resisting an officer without violence?
No contest?
I'll accept your plea, sir. I find it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the
2 days.
2 days you've been in custody. Sir, I have to order that you pay court costs, but I'll give you a year to pay those.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good luck. You have 30 days to appeal in writing.
Thank you, sir. God bless you, man.
You as well.
Trying to underline
I have to turn it. Approach, Your Honor.
Yes. Thank you.
Chauncey Lowe.
21 CF 8618AO. Oh, you're here because a KPS was issued for your arrest?
Yeah, I noticed that too, ma'am. And I seen that it said in there that the bondsman or I want notice, and the judge put in, I guess, to set aside the forfeiture and to discharge the bond. But I was cooperating. I didn't understand how did I get the FTA.
So the KPS says that you failed to appear for a motion hearing on October 13th, 2021. And when you fail to appear for court, oftentimes judges will issue a KPS with no bond. So that's the allegation. I can't change that. You're gonna have to talk to the trial judge who issued that KPS. At this time, however, I'll appoint an attorney to represent you so you can get back in front of that judge and ask about it, okay?
They didn't even give me notice that I missed the court. It says it in the docket. It says it in the docket. If you look through the docket, it says that the bondsman, and that's the statute, that the serenity supposed to have 72 to 48 hours to be noticed before, and how, I ain't understand that. Like,
So
that's unconstitutional, ain't it?
it's not, because if the court orders you to be in court, you have to be there. So if you don't appear, the notice that you didn't appear is your KPS.
If you could see in the docket, it said return mail, and it says that the bondsman was not noticed, I guess The judge was gonna let me out yesterday when I went to court, because it said a motion to set aside the forfeiture and discharge my bond. I guess I don't know how that goes.
You're going to have to take that up with the trial judge. It's Judge Wooten. He can change his capias. I can't change it, though.
Have a good day.
You as well.
Anquan Owens.
You're here in 22 MM 26AW, charged with battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond in this case is $500. You can have no contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. In 19 CF 10858, 19 CF 10189, and 20 CF 14289, you're here for violating probation. The allegations are you failed to report as directed and changed your residence. At this time, there's no bond authorized on those, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you.
Can I say something on that, Your Honor?
Sir, you can say anything you wish. Everything you say is being recorded and can be used against you later.
Just a moment, confer.
Yes.
All right, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir.
Hello,
Please tell me your name.
my name is Louis Pagan.
21 CF 15231. You're here because a warrant was issued for your arrest, charging you with aggravated stalking, dating violence. Another judge has already found probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Just a moment. Does either side wish to be heard on bond?
Your Honor, state would just ask that you take into account, Mr. Pagan doesn't look like he has any criminal history. However, the allegations in the affidavit are concerning to the state. It appears that there are in-person incidences as well as repeated virtual incidences. I believe there were multiple texts, voicemails, and emails, as well as showing up to her apartment uninvited, as well as showing up to the child's church and trying to run them off the road, as well as arguably a previous DV incident that had not been reported to law enforcement until this affidavit. So we just ask that you take all that into account, along with the threat that he didn't care if he killed them both after the trying to run her off the road incident. So we ask that you take all that into account when setting bond.
Mr. Brands, any argument from the defense?
He has been just reasonable bond conditions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Pagan, at this time, your bond is $50,000 with special conditions. You can have no contact with the victim or any witness in this case. Do you understand what no contact means? You can't send a text message, can't call her on the phone.
4 or 5 months since I've talked to this person.
You can't contact her on social media, no contact.
I do have a saying, she's been calling me on
So-
private, so I can't reach out to her. I can't even get into her place. I have everything on my phone that I could show you guys.
You can show your attorney. The court doesn't have jurisdiction to order her not to contact you. I just have jurisdiction over you. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You cannot return to her residence for any reason or be within 1,000 feet of her residence, place of employment, or the child's school. Do you understand? Good luck, sir.
Thank you so much, I'm sorry.
My name is Jamal Smith, man.
Good morning. This is 22 CF 150. You're here because a warrant was issued for your arrest, charging you with aggravated stalking with a credible threat. Another judge has already found probable cause in this case. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. While you're in the courtroom, I need you to look at me or that wall. Do not look at the witness. Do you understand? Thank you. Good morning. Do you wish to testify?
Yes.
All right, raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Sierra Bailey, Bailey.
State.
Good morning, Miss Bailey. Can you please state your relationship to Mr. Smith?
As of last month, he was my ex-husband.
Could you get closer to the microphone? I'm having trouble hearing you.
Is it my mask?
It is. It's also the sound is not great. It's not you, so thank you. All
Yeah, we were divorced December 7th of last month.
right, thank you.
Are you afraid of him?
Yes.
Have there been previous incidences of domestic violence between the two of you?
Yes, our whole marriage and charges, I just dropped charges against him.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
No, so I put in an injunction. I got full custody with the divorce of my children, so I wanted an injunction against me and my kids. I don't want him to come nowhere near me and my kids.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell the court?
No, that's it. I just don't want him nowhere near me and my kids or my job where I work.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
None of that.
Any questions from the defense?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, when setting bonds, they would have you take into account, he has a very extensive criminal history with multiple weapons and firearm charges. He's had a consistent history since juvie. I believe his earliest history dates back to 2003. And there's been consistently history every single year until that date. Multiple violent offenses, multiple firearm offenses, and other weapon offenses. And within this affidavit, there are continuing multiple ongoing threats. I believe it's also alleged that he is about to finish with a DOC sentence of fleeing and attempting to elude with a concealed weapon. So again, another firearm charge. So that coupled with the threats made within this affidavit states concerned regarding the victim's safety as well as her children's safety. As well as it appears he has at least 13 prior failures to appear, at least 3 prior VOPs showing an inability to comply with court orders. So state would ask that you take all that into account when setting his bond on this case.
He was released from DOC in 2015.
Oh, this year.
He was just released. Sir, you can say anything you wish, but everything you say is being recorded and can be used against you later. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am, I am. Ma'am, I am being painted in a way that I've been in prison. I just got out. I have a job at Addison AVAC. I've been working 50 hours a week. I was on GPS. at the Federal Halfway House, and I end up getting a new girlfriend. And ever since I got a new girlfriend, it's always been problems. I have videos where the same person tried to run me over at my job, and that I'm being stopped for prison charges, and I'm looking like the victim when I'm not even messing with no one. I just got out of prison. I just got released out of federal prison yesterday, and I'm still not released. I haven't done nothing to no one. I just want to just live my life. I've been going to work. I want to put myself on child support so I can pay for my kids. I just got a car. I got everything going on for me, and it's like I'm being punished because I don't want to be with somebody, and that I got another relationship. You see what I'm saying? And it's just so crazy that everybody uses my history on me. I was never convicted of no domestic violence, ever. But then when I finally move on with someone else, then it's a big problem. Then now it's a domestic violence problem. I haven't hit her. I never seen her since I've been out. She pulled up on me trying to fight my girlfriend. My girlfriend got a case coming up on her. I got a case coming up on her for trying to run me over at my job site. My boss man, y'all can call Addison AVAC. He got the cameras for her trying to run me over. I'm testifying, and I'm doing what I have to do to protect me. I want a restraining order on her, but I'm looking like this.
So you're going to have to apply for that downtown. You can't do that today.
And I have this, something.
Just a moment. I'll get back to you in a moment. I understand what you're saying, sir. That's not what's in this affidavit.
Yes, I know it's not what's in the affidavit, but I'm just telling you, this is just giving me foresight for things because it's like I feel like everybody against me when I changed. I done went to programs. I done got my GED inside federal prison. I done got me a job. I'm a working man, and I done moved on. And it's like I'm being punished for nothing. My GPS shows I'm not around here. I'm at work. I was in a federal highway house, and I got a warrant while I was still incarcerated. And I haven't even got out yet. And it's like people against me. When I got text messages from she telling my girl that as long as me and her together, she's gonna make sure she keep me in jail. And now I fear for my life is when I get out of jail, they know I'm on probation. She's gonna try to make up charges to get me violated because I done moved on. And I got text messages and proof of her texting my girlfriend's sister, my girlfriend, and everything. Her name is Candace Nelson. I got her phone number. Y'all can call. I got proof of everything that I am being by a scorned woman. I am being like, and it's like I'm defenseless. It's like I can't do nothing. It's like I can't do nothing.
So in the affidavit, it looks like the law enforcement officer was able to see and hear text messages, voice messages, Instagram messages from you. So I think, listen, we're not here to argue about this. I'm telling you what the probable cause affidavit has. That information's already there, and that's what I have to evaluate. If you think you have some defenses in this case, you're going to have to talk to your attorney about that and raise them in front of the trial judge. We're not having a motion hearing today on anything other than probable cause and bond conditions. All right, yes, ma'am.
Yes, I also like to put on a record too, as of when he got out of the halfway house, he was released to my residence. And the reason that he's back in the halfway house is because I have pictures, I have a case, I have a recorded on cam from a police. He did put my hands on me. My eye was swollen, my nose. September 21st of last year, he was living at my residence. And the Orange County deputy is being investigated because the Orange County deputy told me, being that he is a federal inmate, they are not allowed to go into the federal building. So I told the deputy, all I want is for him to be removed. They told me I would have to go to the center and get him removed. And that's why he was placed on GPS at the center. I went to the halfway center on Edgewater and spoke to the supervisor that was at the center. I showed the supervisor my face. I showed the supervisor my nose, my lips, everything, the marks on my neck. I showed the supervisor, and then the supervisor mandated that he's not allowed to be around me. And then I submitted those pictures as well to the deputy. So he has been, when he say he has been abusive, and I don't care with his relationship or what he has going on. I have brought him lunch. Running him over I am not dead. I did bring him lunch. We did have a communication going on. I didn't find out about this going on until he was put out of my home. He was put out of my home for that. Also, he was put out of my home for putting his hands on me. He was put out of my home for being caught on camera, with allegedly being with somebody while I was not home. So that's why he was put out of my home, Your Honor. It doesn't have nothing to do with his allegation with a relationship or what he has going on. And I have not contacted nowhere on my cell phone or in my social media to any of his people.
All right, thank you both. I think those are arguments that are going to have to be made at a later time in front of the trial judge.
And I don't feel like he's safe to be out on the I don't feel like it's safe for him to be out on the street doing that. He is the way he is. He said he's gonna, exactly in the voice message, it was said in the voice message, he would be waiting in my bushes and my grandmother and my mother will not see 2021. Remind you, both pregnancies, I almost lost my children. I had DCF in my life for a whole year. I was a parent with no allegations because he was so domestic with his other child's mother. So he's not safe to be out here.
I'm concerned about the allegations that I read. I'm also concerned about your client's history, Mr. Brantz. Given that your client is currently a federal inmate and this is happening, I'm curious what conditions you think this court can impose with which your client will comply.
As to the current charge, Your Honor, he is entitled to a reasonable bond unless the charge is punishable by life or the state files a pretrial detention motion. He has mentioned, I don't know if there's any veracity to that, of the GPS from the federal corrections. But with pretrial release, he can be ordered to a curfew. He can be ordered to check in with a supervisor. He can be ordered to hand over any weapons or firearms that he may possess. All of those can be included, and those aren't usually included in a general injunction, so you can't add those as a way to ease every party's mind. But he is still entitled to a reasonable bond.
What says the state?
Your Honor, may I inquire with pretrial release? It does say he qualifies.
Yeah, that person who screened him qualified him.
Regardless, Your Honor, the state would object to pretrial release. It appears, I mean, he has at least 3 prior VOPs showing an inability to comply with court orders. I think, and I believe there's been at least 6 other VOP arrests, and I don't know what happened with them according to his arrest history. So I don't think pretrial release would be a good fit for Mr. Smith. So it would just ask that you set a bond taking into account everything that's already been argued in front of the court.
Your Honor, to be fair, I wasn't arguing for a straight PTR. It was just pretrial release conditions that you can add on to his bond conditions.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Smith, this is what I'm going to do. I believe by law you are entitled to bond. I don't believe I can hold you at no bond today. I'm going to set your bond at $100,000. With special conditions, you can have no contact with the victim in this case. Do you understand what no contact means? I did. Do you understand what no contact means? You can't call her on the phone, you can't send a text message, you can't see her in person, you can't send any messages on social media. You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. You can't be within 1,000 feet of the victim's residence, place of employment, or the children's school. You can have no contact with any minor child under the age of 18. You can't use social media at all. Do you understand? You can't return to the victim's residence for any reason. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Not today. Your attorney can file a motion in front of the trial judge to reduce that.
Leanna Wells.
22 CF 424AO, you're here charged with aggravated battery, domestic violence, and battery, domestic violence. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case.
Your Honor,
Yes.
as to PC, if it stems from the same series of events, shouldn't there just be one charge of AGBAT instead of an AGBAT and BAT?
No.
No, it can be, because it's two, their elements are different, they can charge it as both. So the aggravated battery is the glass, I thought it was a vase.
A Jameson bottle.
Yeah, a glass bottle.
It's just I would understand if the time passed and then they came back and there was another battery, if there was another party involved, but.
So she punched him twice in the face, that's the battery, and technically that's 2 batteries, but it's only one. And then it's the bottle that struck him in the head. So I think there's probable cause. Your bond is $5,000 on count 1, $100 on count 2. You can have no contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You cannot possess or consume any alcoholic beverages. Good luck, ma'am. I did.
Yeah, my name is Brandon Cooper.
22 MM 265AO, you're here charged with battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $500. You can have no contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition.
Okay.
Were you living with the victim,
In the past?
but not right now?
No, ma'am.
All right, you can't return to her residence for any reason.
Okay. Right here?
Just a moment. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Have a good day.
You as well. 22 MM 9 AE, you're here charged with violating a condition of pretrial release in a domestic violence case. There is probable cause. I'm appointing an attorney to represent you. Good morning. Do you wish to testify?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Justin Pile, P-I-L-E.
State.
Good morning, sir. Can you please state your relationship to Miss Cordell?
She was my girlfriend.
You can put your hand down.
Oh, sorry.
Are you afraid of her?
Yes,
Has anything like this ever happened before?
multiple times.
And are you the victim in the case that occurred
Yes,
on the 8th?
correct.
And do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
No.
That's
The
all.
reason, oh,
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Hold on one second. Anything from the defense?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, yes, sir. Is there something else you want me to know?
yes, she suffers from severe mental illness and she needs to go to alcohol rehab. She drinks alcohol like it's water. And no matter, you can take the alcohol from her, you go sit down for 5 minutes and she runs him back and grabs the alcohol, drinks it like somebody drinking water in the desert. I don't know how she does it, but she's suicidal in a way. She needs help. I don't want her to be incarcerated. I wish she would go to an alcohol rehab program and, maybe get mentally evaluated. She has delusions. She says all kinds of crazy things. But she needs help. I don't want her in jail. I don't want her incarcerated.
I understand and I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I don't have jurisdiction to order her into any kind of rehab, and I appreciate that you seem to care about her and want that for her, but
Oh, I do. I don't know if you can see how many times she's been Baker acted, but I lost count. It's been so many times, and she's like two different people. When she's sober, she's normally 99% of the time affectionate, sweetest person in the world you ever met. When she drinks, she turns into a monster.
I believe you. I will also tell you in my experience, rehab usually only works if the person themselves wants it, right?
Yes.
But since I can't order her into rehab, I don't have the authority to do that. But I'll ask the state to please give you a card so you can stay in touch with the state attorney's office, because there might be some resources available to her, and also her attorney can help with those.
I mean, I love her. I can't take her abuse. I mean, she drinks, she throws stuff at me, she beats me, she bites me. I've got scars on my body. And nothing gets through to her. It's always my fault. And I've never so much as slapped her before. I've never struck her or anything.
Well, I am sorry to hear that, but
Your Honor, when
based,
setting bond, she is entitled to a bond unless there were no reasonable conditions. However, state is not arguing that at this time. However, I just bring to your attention, she does have a 2021 BAT DV, a 2021 misdemeanor non-arrest BAT DV violation, 2021 non-arrest BAT DV, 2021 non-arrest BAT DV resisting, 2021 non-arrest misdemeanor BAT DV, as well as a 2022 misdemeanor battery that she's seen here for today, or that she's out on bond for, as well as this violation.
And I bailed her out thinking she could stay sober for one day so I could get her to a father and let him help her. But she couldn't stay sober for one night.
All right.
Literally, she drank the alcohol like this, like chugging water like she was thirsty in the desert, like it was water.
yeah, that is definitely a problem.
I mean, it's serious alcohol. And you tell her she's an alcoholic and she hates that word, but to me, that's an alcoholic if you're abusing alcohol like that,
Right.
you know?
All right, I am going to set bond in this case. All right, ma'am, your bond in this case will be $1,000. With special conditions, you can have no contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means? You cannot possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You cannot possess or consume alcoholic beverages. You'll be subject to random alcohol screens to begin within 24 hours of her release. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. At this time, I'm revoking your bond in 22 MM 7 AE.
Do I have a bond or no?
You have a bond in your new case, but you can't bond out because I revoked your bond in your existing case.
What does it mean?
What happens is, if you're out on bond on a criminal charge and you get arrested for another criminal charge, the judge can revoke that bond and hold you at no bond. So you'll not be released until your attorney files a motion in front of the trial judge to ask for a new bond in that case. It demonstrates an inability or an unwillingness to comply with court orders.
I
So
bonded
call your
her,
attorney. I understand.
I bonded her out. Will I be receiving that back, or?
That'll be between you and the bondsman, sir.
Oh, no, I mean, I paid the courts. I didn't go through a bondsman.
Oh. I don't think so.
I think it's after trial, right?
I'm not sure.
Oh, so if she
She's
shows.
forfeiting the bond because she violated the bond conditions. All right, good luck. Thank you, sir. Good luck.
Thank you.
Jeffrey Day.
22 MM 270AO, you're here charged with battery domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $500 with special conditions. You can have no contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. For your employment, do you have to possess weapons?
No.
You don't ever use like an axe? All right. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you can't coordinate that with the victim. Do you understand?
Yes.
Are there any other conditions the state would request?
Your Honor, DCF was called, state asked that you.
You must comply with any plan set in place by DCF.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I missed that last part.
You must comply with any plan set in place by DCF.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, if he's around, like an axe at the firehouse, could just for work purposes, can be around those sorts of things.
Yes, I'll order that. So you can't possess a weapon or a firearm, but if in the course of your job duties, you are required to be near or touch an axe, that will not violate my order.
As a chief officer, I'm a commander, so I don't really do physical work.
Okay, but I still don't want that to be so for work purposes only. Good luck, sir.
Some questions.
Trenton Hadley.
You're here in 22 MM 26680, charged with battery dating violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. While you're in the courtroom, please look at me or that wall. Don't look at the witness. Do you understand? Good morning. Do you wish to testify?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Jasmine, and my last name is Scipio. It's Sippio.
State.
Good morning, Ms. Scipio. Can you please state your relationship to Mr. Hadley?
He's an ex-boyfriend.
Are you afraid of him?
Somewhat, I would say. This is not the first time that we've had an altercation. This is not the first time that the police has been to my my residence. Usually we're pretty much okay, we're pretty fine, and then when we get to like arguing, it gets pretty heated. I mean, I'm sure obviously when cops are involved, it's because of fear. One time I called, and the other two times my neighbors had called. There have been sometimes he'll probably like make threats, and he'll probably say, "Well, you have better watch out. You should have left me alone." It won't be him. It'll be like somebody else. So I'm not really sure. I usually ask him what that means, and he'll laugh. So I don't know.
All right, thank you. Any more questions, Ms. Fleming?
Ma'am, would you like to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Well, I usually don't like reach out to him in any way. I know they told me that they would keep me updated with the case. So I don't know if he has to have contact with me. I highly doubt it. If not, then that's fine.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Any questions from the defense?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. I am going to order no contact. So, Mr. Hadley, your bond in this case is $500. You can have no contact with the victim or the witness. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You can't return to the victim's residence for any reason. Wait, do you live together?
I guess we were staying together. He's not like on my lease or anything. I did allow him to come back due to a certain situation, and then it kind of prolonged. So as of now, I know the cops told me like if a tenant stays there for a certain amount of time, they're considered to be like a resident.
What I'm asking is, does he have belongings at your residence?
Yes.
All right, I'll order you to maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you cannot coordinate that with the victim. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other conditions the state would request? Oh, did I say no weapons, firearms, or ammunition?
You did, Your Honor. No further questions.
All right, thank you. Good luck, ma'am. Good luck.
Good morning, I'm Jason, a nurse.
MM 27380, you're here charged with battery, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. While you're in the courtroom, please look at me or that wall. Don't look at the witness. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good morning. Do you wish to testify?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, you have to get closer to the mic because I can't hear you.
Yes.
Raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record and spell your last name.
Lisette Carbo, C-A-R-B as in boy, O.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you please state your relationship to Mr. Nurse?
His girlfriend, the mother of his child.
And are you afraid of him?
No.
Has anything like this ever happened before?
No.
If anything like this or anything more severe ever occurred in the future, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
I'm sorry?
If anything like this or anything more severe where you did feel threatened ever occurred in the future, would you feel comfortable calling 911?
Yeah.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yeah, that's fine.
Was that a yes? Yes. And do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved in this incident?
I'm sorry?
Do you believe drugs or alcohol were involved?
I just had a glass of wine.
What?
She had a glass of wine, Your Honor.
Oh.
No further.
I couldn't hear that. It's the room. It's not you. All right, any questions from the defense?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, thank you. At this time, Mr. Nurse, your bond is $500. With special conditions, you can have no contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, ma'am.
You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings, but you cannot coordinate that with the victim. You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition. Did I say that? Sorry. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck.
Say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a need for there to be no contact or for him not to be in the house? Because it's fine if he goes back, like, that's his home.
So Based on the allegations that are in the affidavit that I reviewed this morning, I'm not going to allow him to have contact with you. When I order him to maintain a separate residence, what that means is you two can't live together. If you leave the residence, he can live there, but he can't live in the same residence as you until another judge changes that order.
Okay, that's fine. I'll leave.
You can do that. So when he returns with law enforcement to gather his belongings, they can assess if you're there, but I can't order you to leave.
Okay.
All right, good luck. Good luck, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, down, sorry. Brandy Parker.
Good morning. You're here in 22 MM 27480, charged with battery, domestic violence, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you. There is probable cause. Give me one moment. Does either side wish to be heard on bond?
Your Honor, the allegations within the affidavit are concerning, but they would also just have you take into account that she does have a prior VOP and it appears a prior battery conviction.
Sorry.
Anything from the defense?
Just reasonable bond conditions, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, your bond is $500 on count one, $2,000 on count two, with special conditions. You can have no contact with the victim or the co-defendant in this case, or the witness. I don't know if the state's charging him. Do you understand what no contact means?
I did read the papers, I've never had social media, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I work 2 jobs, so that's not a problem.
All right, you can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm or ammunition.
I don't have any.
You must comply with any plan set in place by DCF.
Okay.
You can have no contact with any minor child under the age of 18.
Well, what about my other kids?
You can't have any contact with them at this time.
So where would do I have to send them to somebody? Or, because I have a pair of Irish twins, they're 12 and 13. And my daughter just started her IB classes too at her school, and I don't know how that's gonna, and I don't.
Where are they now?
Because they came to my house, the officers came to my house on Saturday when the incident happened, but nothing happened. And then they came to me at 12 o'clock this morning, because I was the one that called the cops. And I had my daughter call the cops. So I don't know, they came this morning and then they picked me up at 1 o'clock this morning. So I had my bestie, I had him come pick them up because it was that time, and the officer was like, so DCF didn't have to get them. And my youngest one already was at a friend's house because she was upset, and I didn't know if my oldest one was gonna come back to the house, and I work at night, if she was gonna come to the house and then I not be there. Excuse me.
You're gonna have to talk to your attorney about it, but based on this affidavit, you can't have contact with any minor child under the age of 18 at this time.
Okay.
You must maintain a separate residence from both the victim and the witness in this case, or co-defendant.
Yeah. Who's the who is the co-defendant? So I make sure who you're talking about, because I know my daughter is Maya Brown. That's my daughter.
Jamari.
Jamari is my son who hit her when she was hitting me. So that is my 13-year-old.
You can't have contact with him.
Okay, and then I have another child. She's 12. They're Irish children, so she's 12, but she's not on there. But she is the one who originally called 911 on Saturday because I told her to.
I'm sorry, at this time, you just can't have contact with any of them.
Okay.
I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings from the home.
Oh no, I'll be at the home. I'm gonna have to let them go. I live there.
So I can't order them to leave?
No,
And you can't make them leave?
No. I'm gonna find, no. They'll just go to my best friend. I'll just have him take care of them, and then I be at home. Because then they would be at home by themselves. I live alone. I'm a single mom. So there wouldn't be no way for them to be at the house by themselves anyway, because that's why the officer, he had to come pick him up because he was 13 and he couldn't be in the house by himself. So they would have to leave because they don't have, I'm the only adult in the household.
So I can only order you to maintain a separate residence?
But I won't be in trouble for doing it that way. It has to be the opposite way.
It doesn't matter. When I order that, you can still be at the house as long as the victim and the witness aren't. I just can't order them to leave. I don't have jurisdiction to do that.
Okay,
That's why.
Understood.
All right. Any other conditions the state would request?
No, Your Honor.
Ma'am, call your attorney right away.
Okay.
There's a number on that green piece of paper. They can help you sort it out.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Good luck.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Principe.
22 MM 26980, you're here charged with battery, dating, violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $500 with special conditions. You can have no contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means?
Yes, I do.
You can't possess a weapon, firearm, or ammunition. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings.
We don't live together.
All right, then I'll order that you're not allowed to return to his residence for any reason.
He lives in a hotel that I pay for.
You can't return to that room
Gladly.
because you can't be living with him right now. Do you understand?
I understand.
So is there a hold for her for the Lake County case?
No, we don't place ads for other counties unless they have an active warrant or a teletyping system.
All right. Good luck, ma'am.
My name is Maya.
Good morning. You're here in 22 MM 250AO, charged with battery, dating, violence. There is probable cause. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Your bond is $500. You can have no contact with the victim. Do you understand what no contact means? You can't possess a weapon of any kind, firearm, or ammunition. You must maintain a separate residence. I'll allow a one-time return with law enforcement to gather your belongings. You cannot possess or consume any alcoholic beverages, and you'll be subject to random alcohol screens. Good luck, ma'am.
Anthony Galloway.
Good morning. You're here in 21-228071 and 21-228873. You have warrants out of Volusia County for grand theft, resisting without violence, and a possession charge. On the possession, which is the 228873, the bond authorized is to be released on your own recognizance. For the other case, it just says 7,000. It doesn't break it up. I'll appoint attorneys to represent you in both of those cases, sir, and we'll notify them that you're here. But the one case you'll be released on, and the other case, you have a bond if you're able to post it. If not, they'll transport you. Good luck.
Kelly Hudson.
You're here in 2020-100308. A warrant was issued for your arrest out of Volusia County for violating probation on a DUI. The bond authorized is $2,000. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you, and we'll notify Volusia County that you're here.
Evan Maxwell.
Good morning. You're here in 0079498. Looks like you have a warrant out of Polk County for failing to appear on charges of petty theft, resisting without violence, and possession of paraphernalia. At this time, there's no bond authorized. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you, and we'll notify Polk County that you're here so they can transport you. You're here in 21MM2695. A warrant was issued for your arrest out of Osceola County for failing to appear on a charge of battery. The bond authorized is $2,000. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you, and we'll notify Osceola County that you're here so they can transport you.
Alan Solis Crespo, bonded. Anthony Bauman, medical.
2022-012-0009. It's a Marion County VOP warrant with no bond. Mr. Brandt, I'll appoint your office.
We'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
I'll take no action on the out on bond.
Thomas Michael Ward.
Good morning. You're here in 21 CT 5889. A warrant was issued for your arrest out of Lake County for driving while license suspended. The bond authorized is $4,000. We'll notify them that you're here. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you in the meantime. Yes.
I already have an attorney on this. She's
Okay.
been paid, she's done everything this week. I paid her $3,000 last Friday to take care of this. So I'm a little bit frustrated that this has occurred. If I somehow can get a hold of her, her name's Macy, is the assistant. The phone number's 561-521, I believe 5622.
Is she in Lake County?
She's in Lake County, yes, ma'am. The group is out of Boca Raton. It's criminal defense attorneys. I worked with a guy named Oliver. Oliver assigned this attorney. I've been working with the assistant. And they've already paid $2,700 to the attorney to deal with the out-of-county warrant for the FTA in Lake County.
Well, that warrant is still active. I mean, it's now served on you. Can you see if you can call this number and see if they answer? In just a moment, I want you to give me that number again. Go ahead.
561-521-5622. And the first.
What's the attorney's name?
I've been dealing with the assistant. Macy's the assistant. Attorney's name is, I want to say Alejandra. Oliver is the original attorney out of Boca Raton, Florida.
All right, let's see.
I'm almost certain that's taken care of by now.
I mean, it's not because the warrant was active.
Even this morning?
Well, I mean, that's why it was served on you.
I hear you. believe that was Macy's direct line. If it's not the general line, I believe it's 5600. 561-521.
All right, we're not having any luck with that phone number, so,
Can I have a chance to Google the firm just to see if there's a better number, Your Honor?
oh, sure, go ahead.
Your Honor, if I may, the
Yes.
warrant's active. I don't know what calling the firm is going to do.
What?
What calling this firm is going to do if the warrant's active and has been served, as it's not the judge who issued it.
Right, except if they are actively representing him at this time, I want them to know that their client's in court.
Okay.
I'm not changing the warrant. It's not my warrant. It's not even in this county, but at least they'll know their client is here.
Okay.
And what we're doing with the case.
The website.
I wish I could give you better advice.
I'm sorry?
I was telling him I wish I could give him better advice, but I don't represent him.
It didn't, so I'll just encourage you to call him as soon as you can. You'll have access to a phone here, but you have a bond. I'll take no action on the out on bond. If you want to post it, or if you're able to, you can post the bond and get out. Otherwise, Lake County will come and transport you.
That's the bond guarantee. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, good luck, sir.
What's the bond?
It's 4,000.
Okay, so no bond here?
No, I'm not. Right, there's no additional bond here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
But if she's taking care of it, will I still have to post the bond?
Well, that's why you want to call her first, or I would if I was you. Thank you.
Morning, Your Honor, Naomi Green.
Good morning. You're here in 20 CF 705980 for violating probation. There's no bond authorized at this time. The allegations are you failed to report as directed, failed to remain in your residence as directed, failed to complete the batterer's intervention program. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. All right, good luck, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
They're Paris.
20 CF 12712AO, you're here for violating your probation by committing the new law offense of aggravated battery, domestic violence. At this time, there's no bond authorized on that warrant, and I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Good luck, ma'am.
James Kevin Sewell.
Good morning. You're here in 20 CF 13165. A warrant was issued for your arrest for violating your probation by failing to report as directed and failing to undergo a mental health evaluation as directed. At this time, there's no bond authorized. I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Good luck, sir. Good morning. You're here in 2016 CF 8688AO. For violating your probation, I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Hold on one moment. It's for committing the criminal offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on or about January 5th, 2022. At this time, you'll have no bond. Good luck, sir.